We are now very connected on a global basis. Events in one part of the world have a ripple effect across the globe and are meaningful and material to people in other parts of the globe. 20, 30 years ago, supply chains maybe extended a few hundred miles. The automotive supply chain in the US went from Detroit to Cleveland. Well, now you've got chips being manufactured in plants in Thailand that are installed in cars in Germany that are being sold in the United States. And so the impact of localized events is now much more magnified on a global basis. So that means there's a lot more variables that people have to play with when they're thinking about forecasting. Whether it's exchange rates, commodity prices, GDP growth, a number of different indicators that could materially impact your business is just multiplied. And that makes it a complex equation for business managers and financial managers to really synthesize all of that down and begin to understand what the likely impact on future performance will be.
The reality is, I think we're really just more aware of it. The risk was there. It's just much more accentuated now because risk can punch at us from a lot of different places. The supply chains that organizations use are more global. So by being more global, you've got more disruption that comes in and impacts you. The awareness of currency fluctuations, of commodities. Technology has accelerated the pace of understanding the pace of change and the pace of not only your own response, but your competitors' responses. So in effect, we really face similar risks. We just see them a lot faster and they're coming at us from all over. And we're in many cases just much more aware of it than we've ever been before.
So I think what's changed about risk since the 2008 meltdown is the elapsed time. There's less time for organizations to react to risky activity. And I think the second thing is there's less ability to build resilience. So you can react to risk by either building an organization's agility or by its resilience. So in the organizational sense, resilience is built by increasing inventories, increasing cost or difficulty for customers to change, those sorts of things. But organizations don't have the resources to invest in inventory. So resilience isn't an option. Agility is the option. So when risk begins to happen, how can we be more agile to react to that turbulence? And that requires organizations to change their processes. If you think of an organization like McDonald's, they don't try to forecast how many people are going to walk through the door. They're agile enough that as demand increases, they make more hamburgers, and as demand decreases, they get less. So they no longer need to forecast risk because they're agile. So those are the dimensions which seem to be at play now that weren't at play a decade ago.
If you look at the COSO framework, it's fairly comprehensive. So what you're asking the finance and accounting folks to do is to really understand all the variables in a business, understand the complete business model. And so the reason it's difficult is because typically they don't have the enterprise-wide view. So we're asking accountants to layer in on accounting and finance and more strategic skills to understand the entire business. So that's one contributing factor. The second is the variables out in the marketplace are changing more rapidly.